Hi, it's Mark Postles here, and I want to spend a few minutes with you here today looking at the problems associated with service, and that is that there's issues that come up with us as chiropractors when we can't serve as many people as we want, when we're not serving as many people as we want, when we're looking at the appointment schedule out weeks or months ahead, and we're not seeing it full. We're not seeing a lot of people who are using our services as on an ongoing basis. Now, why would that be? Well, you could have a very limited paradigm around what chiropractic is and what you offer, or the people that you're seeing could have a limited idea about what that is, and that which would reflect their paradigm is quite small. They're coming in for this or that, and they're going as soon as that clears out, or as soon as the control of management starts to ease a little bit, then they leave the practice. So there's a number of different ways in which people will come in and move out of your practice, and that's all measured in the PVA figure. So I want to have a look at that in a little bit more depth, because the not ability or the inability, the lack of ability to serve people on an ongoing basis really hurts the person. It really hurts them if they don't get the value of what you've got to offer over time, and so it becomes a short episode. And likewise, obviously, it hurts your practice. It hurts your team. It just does not allow you to feel as fulfilled as you could if you are seeing these magnificent changes that's possible with chiropractic over time. So this is the name of the game here: is that the higher the PVA figures, the more indicative, and I'm not saying this is necessarily a direct measure of qualitative care, but it's certainly one of the components. So it's indicative of a practice that's offering more, that there is something for people to ascend into. Now, what has to happen there, though, is that they have to be able to take on a new level of understanding that would make them want to move forward into this next offering. So people come in with a very, very limited offering, and our job there is to reconnect them to themselves, to increase their self-awareness, to increase their neurological functioning, so that they can then comprehend their world better and make better decisions with their health and with their healthcare, with their relationships and their social interactions and their businesses and so forth. So they will elevate because of that. So let's just have a look then at this. One of the main things here is that we're dealing with time. This is the sixth principle of chiropractic, and it is about time. So time then is a factor which we have to look at. That people's bodies, if you like, took a time to degrade, and people's bodies and their mind and their neurology takes a time to regenerate. So there's a degeneration, degradation cycle. There's a regeneration, rebuilding cycle, and depending on how much time we give it is how much results we get. And there are limitations to matter. There's limitations to a person's body's ability to repair and heal and regenerate based on the time that's elapsed, based on the degree of severity and so forth. So, but the point being is that we have a gap here. We have this time gap, and if we're looking at going into an ascending structure with practice members, then we must be willing to give that time. They also must be willing to give that time, and that requires that you buy time increments. So we're trading in time increments. Now within that, you're going to have different frequencies of care and different elements associated with that. There'll be different models of care may be used within that. But the point is that you need to have these time increments agreed upon ahead of time, so people get a perspective of that. So, as I said before, what we're looking for here is a shift in people's understanding. People's paradigms have to take a different view. They have to be constructed differently at the different levels of care. So within that, then let's just break this down a little bit further. And if we go to an understanding then, or a model of paradigms, a paradigm could be said to be a bit of a curve, such as maybe that. and there's an S function to this. So within the paradigm then, and we have a certain paradigm here that has three essential phases to it. Right, the first phase is a possibility phase. So whenever we're faced with something that's new, it's got possibilities associated with it. Right, so there's a possibility here that we enter a paradigm into. So this is where we jump in. The paradigm then is, and this could say, let's call this one. Let's take this paradigm and we'll call it acute care or relief care. Whoops. Okay, so it's relief care. Right, so we've got this relief care phase, and there's some possibilities in there. Maybe the pain will go away. Maybe this will settle down. Maybe the organ or whatever happens to be the malady will get better or feel better. And so that's the possibility associated with that. Now, what happens within a possibility phase is that that's all thin air in terms of that's a future orientation. So it's possible that this certainly could resolve. But then we also go to the next phase then, and we say, okay, what are these steps along the way? So this is where we get structured on it, and this is a more with less. Okay, so one of our things about this stage here is to do less and get more. So we are working on a paradigm, or working on a way in which we can get rid of the given issue in terms of relief and the back pain or the neck pain or the stomach issues or whatever it happens to be starts to clear, and we do more with less. So doing more with less gets us to a certain point, and then we run out of power. We run out of the options within that, and so that's when we get used up. So the paradigm then gets spent. In other words, there's only so much relief care you can do with someone, and even though it was amazing, a person comes in, they're carried in on a stretcher, and the possibilities are huge. And what we find is that we get in there and we educate that person, we work with that person about what's going on with the realities of their body relative to this particular issue, how it's all working. We do certain things. It's quite done for you at this point in time, and we do more with less. And as they get to understand things more, they start to realize that, wow, this chiropractic stuff's really good for whatever insert the content after that. And so whatever they came in for is being served. Then it gets used up. It's like, wow, thank you so much. I'm out of here because now I've got what I came for. I can now walk, I can now run, I can now digest food properly, whatever the case may be, and that's all used up. So, if the paradigm is either limited in terms of the practitioner, or it hasn't been communicated to the person that there's any more than just getting rid of their pain, or if the person is resistant to that, or doesn't understand it, or has a very, very overriding conviction that this is all chiropractic is for, then they'll be out of there, right? So that'll be it. They'll be, oh, fantastic, that chiropractic is really good. They gave me what I wanted, and off they go. So the next level of that is possible, because at any level of a paradigm, there are more possibilities. So we could have more possibilities showing up that you might say, okay, well, you know what, there's stabilization that can come here too. So rather than just having the 7 visits for relief, and it's really, really cool that that's happened, maybe there are possibilities that exist in this area here. And it could be that your body can lay down new pathways. Your body is plastic, and your nervous system is plastic, and it can reprogram itself. Maybe there's some opportunities here for your brain to learn new patterns and prevent this problem from reoccurring again. Maybe there's on and on and on and on. There are possibilities that exist at a different level, and we might say, okay, well, what we call that is, say, stabilization. So we have a section called stabilization care. Now that could be very profound for some people. Some people are like, what? Stabilization care? That's amazing. I've never thought of that. I've never heard that. I've always used relief care. That's what I do when I go to a health practitioner. And so they get into this stabilization care and they get to understand it. And so they start to get more with less. They start to realize that, hey, if I do certain things at home, if I look after myself in certain ways, then that I'm gonna actually get more out of this. So the more with less comes in, and there's less needed to maintain or to advance certain situations of healing and repair. And so then it all gets used up. So, well, this is really cool. Now I guess I'm ready to go because I'm now done. I'm now stable. And so I'll just wait for something else to go wrong. So I might go out for maintenance or something like that. But it's all used up. That's my thing. So then we can go into another level. It could be another paradigm here that is available for a person. And that could be a paradigm that we might want to call regenerative care. So regen care is a type of care that allows for a person to regenerate neurologically, osseously, myologically. I mean, things can shift, things can change, there's cycles of change, and so regenerative care then becomes a possibility. So that new possibility gets acted on, and it's like the person gets really excited because, wow, this is incredible. I could actually reshape my posture. I could reshape my breathing. Maybe my liver function is going to regrow or change. And so it goes. So that then we've got more with less again. And then we enter a used up. So, there could be a time when we say, okay, well, I'm at point of maximum improvement. Now, that's a pretty long shot in our experience, but and there's certain research that would suggest that's the case too, that with appropriate care over time, there's a constant improvement. And we certainly see that with the SF36s and so forth. So there's an opportunity though for people to take that regenerative care and use that paradigm up, and that becomes their whole thing. Now, it's very rare by this time because these paradigms work within each other. At a low paradigm, we can't appreciate the ones above. At a higher paradigm, we certainly can use and appreciate the ones above. And so, we're always on the lookout for the next paradigm. The next paradigm here may be a paradigm that we might call, well, I just want to make sure I optimize. So that becomes optimization care. So once again, we work with the person very, very, very gently over time, dropping in little bombs of information, of insight, of awareness, of inspiration that allows them to take that possibility and until it's all used up, and then they move to the next level. And so they go through these paradigms. They gradually become more of the chiropractic context within their lives. And think of it from this position. You've taken 5 years or more to get to the point you are when you first graduated. And to take a person that comes into our practice and expect that to happen after one healthcare class and a couple of videos is insane. That's not the way it works. We're here to make sure that people are constantly evolving, constantly and gently adjusting their paradigms. And that brings about profit for all. And the real profit, as I would see it, is that they are entering self-generating paradigms into who knows where. There's lots of upside for humanity. There's lots of places that we can go and things we can do and see and create. And we can do that if we have all our faculties working as best as possible. So that's the name of the game when it comes to allowing our PVA to increase and to sorting out people's understanding at from a very basic level right up through into the higher levels. And so, what I'd invite you to do on this one is that we're running an intensive. It's a 4-hour Saturday afternoon on the 25th of September, and this is around powering up your PVA. What are the concepts and the principles around this? What are some of the strategies and the details that you can employ in your practice and get them sorted that Saturday afternoon? The goal is to have something workable when you leave it. It's not with a whole bunch of stuff that you're going to have to work on when you get home. And so, look, register here and come along to this event. I know that you like it. It's an event for our clients, and we'll make it available to to a select number of people. So, we'll be looking at where you're at and where you want to go. And, that may be a fit for you. So the Power Up Your PVA is an afternoon event, Saturday the 25th, and I'd love to see you there. So take the advantage of it. We'll see you then. Cheers.